audio things that use Discord, but anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
People, if you're tuning in to a late night stream, welcome to the Game Tasty Show, the official podcast of Bacon.com, the tastiest place to get your video gaming fix on the internet. I am one of your hosts, editor at Bacon.com. I am Jeff Roth.
And I'm Dave the Watchman.
And if you're a regular viewer, you'll notice there's two of us. And we might as well get the talk about the big bald elephant out of the room.
Justin's dead!
Yes, he died.
He's dead, and next week, actually, this is why I was laughing before the pre-show. I had a brilliant idea. Yeah. Next week, we're going to have a wake. We're going to have a wake for Level Up Justin.
Wow.
He's going to be thrilled.
I'm sure.
It's a terrible story. We'll go into full detail next week.
We'll do the kayfabe thing then. But,
yes.
Look, Justin has decided to step away from Nerd Bacon for the foreseeable always. I mean, but
it was amicable terms. There was no breakup or anything. But
we didn't become Activision. He's still welcome here.
He didn't become Bungie or anything.
Right. So now he wanted to step away and focus on other things, and obviously we thank him for his contributions. And Justin, if you're watching or listening, you always got a seat at the table, my friend.
You can always meet us in the middle, brother. But until then, because we love you, because you're our friend, we are going to razz you, and we are going to have a wake next week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're screwed.
That's the stupidest thing I can think of to do. So tune in next week for Level Up Justin's Wake, and we'll give you the full story on how he died.
Because we'll figure it out by then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We talk about video. We also are just dumb. Dave and I we keep it goofy, and we talk about video games for a good hour plus.
Yeah.
Let's start on the positive. Yeah. First of all, one negative. This winter has been brutal.
Oh man, it snows like every other minute.
I am tired of it already. We didn't get this until later on in the winter cycle, but we got it hard.
Yeah, I don't mind that though, getting it in the later winter cycle, because that keeps things clear for traveling for Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff like that, so you don't have to worry about it. But then it hits you hard in January and February. So
we're supposed to get early spring, because the groundhog said so.
Groundhog is the most scientific of mammals that I've seen, so
obviously.
Yeah. And
of course, you're watching us on Twitch, you're watching us on Mixer at mixer.com/nerdbacon, on our Nerd Bacon India, my Nerd Bacon.
Did you say Nerd Bacon India?
It was Nerd Bacon. I'm not sure what accent that was.
I thought you were talking Nerd Bacon India, like we had an Indian affiliate or something.
We may have an office out there soon. The Nerd Bacon YouTube channel and the Smashcast, and on audio form on Podbean and Stitcher and Spotify and Anchor and all that fun stuff. So let's talk about a game that came out recently that has been burning up the charts, and that of course is Apex Legends, the game from Respawn, published by EA. It is the free-to-play battle royale shooter set in the world of Titanfall. And as someone who was a big fan of Titanfall, I was very thank you. I was really excited for this game to come out, but it was kind of a stealth launch, even though we knew it was coming for quite some time. But I know you've played it, I've played it.
We've all played it. 25 million people have played it.
Oh my god! In the first weekend, the first 72 hours, that game put up 25 million players.
That is ridiculous. That's unheard of. I can't think of a single title that has hit that many players that quickly.
Even Fortnite, when that first came out, people weren't jumping on board just yet, because people were still kind of hung up on PUBG. But yeah, once this came out and said, "Hey, it's a Titanfall-based free-to-play battle royale," I think we're at maybe if we're not at the peak of battle royale mania, we're pretty damn close. So people hear that, they just jump right in, because it's a big budget developer. Maybe need a break from Fortnite, a break from Blackout, a break from PUBG or whatever, Realm Royale, whatever. So this really took off.
Yeah, it's I don't know if I want to say it's surprising that it took off, but it's surprising the weight that this has had and the legs that this has had already. It's going to be very interesting to see if we're still talking about this a month from now. But yeah, right now it's like what, 200,000 people playing at the same time on Twitch. So
yeah,
that's...
I think at one point EA had said about 600,000 concurrent players at one given time.
Yeah,
which is insane.
That's ridiculous. So
then,
what, you are more of the connoisseur of this type of thing. You're the Titanfall guru. You're more, I don't know if I'd say you're a battle royale guy, but hey, what's up, Kiko Path? How you living? But what is the winning formula that Apex Legends has seemingly, this is again only a week old, but what's the winning formula that they've seemingly been able to capture here in their first week of life?
First of all, being free. I think being a yes, because you're a mod, Kiko. Being free was a plus. Because even if you want to play Blackout on Call of Duty, you still have to buy Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Right.
So having that barrier of entry being 0 and being very transparent as far as, yes, we have loot boxes, but they're cosmetics only. You can buy with real money. You don't have to. Here's what you get in them. Here's your percentage chances, what you get for rare and legendary. They're really transparent about what you get out of those boxes. They're very upfront about that. I think being it feels like Titanfall. It feels very fast and fluent, and even though you can't really wall run or use the grappling hook, ish, there's a character that does use that. That definitely helps. I think having those different characters, kind of Overwatch style, but not that far down the rabbit hole, because because Respawn said they all play the same, they all run the same, they all jump the same.
Yeah.
They only have different abilities which can synergize. I mean, Gibraltar, when you're aiming down sights, he pops up a shield. You can use that in conjunction with, if I forget her name now, but she has the airstrike she can throw in. You block that, then you have the medic come in with their medic bot. It's just their team composition. The fact that you're not always solo, you're forced in a squad of 3, which is kind of interesting to play off that. And Kiko said it here, the ping system.
Yeah, that's the big thing that's going to be copied by every other shooter going forward now. Yes.
What makes this game great is that I'm in a squad of 3 and don't have to talk to them. I love it.
That's really what we want in an interactive video game, is not having to interact with people.
Exactly. I mean, yes, if I'm playing with you and Justin, then yes, I'll want to chat with you guys and kind of make a plan. But if I'm with 2 randos, we can do all our communications through pinging, and it's context sensitive. I'll ping this object here, and the character in game will shout, "I have a helmet here, level 1," and show a big bright light on your map.
Yeah.
Tap it twice, enemies over here. You can ping, "I want to go over here." It's really intuitive, and I love that about it.
I will tell you what they need to adopt that in immediately is Sea of Thieves, because that's a game that desperately needs communication. And when I played through Sea of Thieves, it was really annoying dropping into a crew that wasn't talking to each other. So having that ping system, I think, would help that game out immensely.
Yep.
But yeah, there is definitely a winning formula. I think the character selection, I wasn't as enamored with it as the vast majority of gamerdom seems to be. I'm just not a battle royale / first person shooter guy. It's got to be something really special to capture me, like Overwatch.
I do like the fact that they are giving all these characters personalities.
Yeah.
They're giving some fun line to dialogue. I mean, Mirage is a jokester. I mean, but he, like, the voice acting is done well. It's written well. It's worth mentioning they came out and said 2 characters are part of the LBTG. I don't know the actual proper acronym. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But 2 characters are part of that group. I think Gibraltar and I forget his name now. The one that looks kind of like the Team Fortress Pyro.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea.
He's got the gas mask on, and I think they said he's kind of non-binary, but they came out and did that kind of out of the gate. But The map is very diversive. I do like the fact that there's a roaming supply ship that was to fly over the entire area. And I like when the jump master pings that, because then if we jump on that, we're always joined by 2 or 3 other squads. So it's already, fight on and start punching people, which is great. My first kill ever was actually a melee kill that kept punching the back of the head. But yeah, I kind of like the whole jump master thing of, hey, I want to go here. I have control over where we land and our trajectory to get there. So we don't have to spread. If you spread out, you die. Like if you are on your own, you're screwed. So having that is very nice. A lot of different metas involved in this that I want to see this evolve. And they've already planned out the entire year. They planned out the season pass. They planned out we have more heroes coming. Sorry, more legends coming. We have more loot coming. We have more stuff is coming. More weapons, more loot, more gear, more cosmetics. Which actually is a lot of cosmetics involved in this. So this is really well done. This is if you put a price tag on it, I wouldn't be surprised by it. But it's a free to play game, which is insane. But I think this might be my go-to battle royale game that's not called Blackout.
Whoa. Here's the thing that kind of strikes me. This game came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
There was no, months-long hype-building expedition with this game. It just was like, tomorrow we got an announcement. Here it is, Apex Legends. It's free to play. It's Battle Royale. It's out today.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. That's it. Everybody's playing it. And I wonder if that's going to start marking a shift in how some of these games are marketed and released. Do we see more, hey, it's out today, we got a big announcement, it's out today type thing? Or do we continue on with that cycle of trying to build hype for months?
I think you'll see both, but what got me was Respawn came out and said the EA basically had no influence on this. It's all done with, it's not even...
I don't buy that. Come on.
I do buy it because it's not Frostbite. This is running on the Titanfall engine, which is not Frostbite. The EA influence is, how does this work with Origin, and it's a back-end stuff. Respawn had all the loot stuff idea, all the season pass stuff, and EA just went along with it. Because it'll print money at this point.
I buy that as much as I buy Sean Layden saying, oh, it's up to developers to enable crossplay on PlayStation 4. That's just
now we're saying 2 different things.
That's just not true.
I mean.
No, here's what I think happened. I think Titanfall 3 was in development. Battlefield 1 was supposed to have the Battle Royale mode. Battlefield 1 has tanked, and they needed a quick fix. Battlefield 5, I'm sorry. Thank you for the correction.
I get confused, too.
Yeah, so Battlefield 5 was supposed to have that Battle Royale mode. It tanked. It didn't do very well, or at least...
you get the pun because Battlefield has tanks in it.
Oh, man. All over. Anyway, see, Titanfall 3...
We had to have fun
Titanfall 3 was in development. EA said, hey, look, we need something. Can you put out a quick Battle Royale? Take all the elements out of what you're doing with Titanfall, put that into this, and let's get it out. And I think that's what they did. And I think Titanfall 3 is still happening, but I don't think it's happening for a while.
It's a ways away. And as someone who is a big Titanfall fan, that franchise has been getting the raw deal so many times.
Right.
I mean, Titanfall 2 came out kind of headbutted against Call of Duty and Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
Like, it got a really rough deal, and it sucks because that game is tremendous. So people need to play Titanfall 2. But
that's really interesting. Actually, people are going back now to play Titanfall 2 now that Apex Legends is out. Now they're all interested in Respawn. So I don't say, my theory on what happened with EA out of any detriment to either EA or Respawn or anything. I don't believe for a second that EA didn't have some hand in getting this. Getting this game out as quickly as it seems to have come out of
sure,
nowhere.
But I don't think they had as big a hand on actually developing it. I think Respawn did all that stuff in-house.
Right. I just think EA came in and said, hey, we're desperate. We need this. Can you do it?
Sure.
And they said, okay, we can. And that changed up plans a little bit but I'm not saying that was a bad thing that changed up plans.
No. They did a quick about face, and by God, it is catching fire.
Mm-hmm.
And again, yeah, we'll have to see, because, I mean, games like Realm Royale was doing well, and its player base has fallen off. Still exists, but player base has fallen off. How many people are just here to try it out before going back to Fortnite or going back to what they're used to? But I think this game has legs, and I think because Respawn's all in on this, it's going to have some legs because they'll make it happen.
Like I said, we'll see what happens in a month. If we're still seeing this game beating out Fortnite as far as player count, then watch for Fortnite to do some crazy stuff in that game to try and draw people back. That's gonna be, it's the free-to-play wars is gonna be kind of a hidden battlefield that we didn't really think about. We've all been focused on the coming stream apocalypse of streaming services and everything, but I think Apex Legends has proved that there's a new front in the gaming story of 2019, and that is free-to-play stuff. And
now my question on this, first of all, I'm really enjoying Apex Legends. I'm not great at it. I'm really enjoying it. I've done some streams. I might stream some later on tonight.
Ooh.
Yeah. Spoiler. I'm going to. What does this do for Anthem?
That's just it. You were talking about how Titanfall 2 kind of got screwed over by, launching right next to Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty World War II. EA has gone and screwed another one of their games. I think this game really does screw Anthem. If I were BioWare, I'd be biting my fingernails down to the nubs, man.
If I'm BioWare, I'm updating my resume and I'm pissed.
Yeah. This is crazy timing. Why did they choose right now to release this game?
When they have a big-time franchise like Anthem coming out, the one that's already been hyped, people were interested, people were excited about it because that beta was good. I liked it. And yes, I have my copy of Anthem ready to go on EA Origins Access Premier. It's there ready for me. So I'm going to play the heck out of it. But if I'm BioWare, I'm like, hey, we have your big game right here. Why is this? I mean, why is this a thing? Why does it have to go out now?
I don't know. That the timing is very weird, and that's something that really nobody is talking about, is why release this game 2 weeks before Anthem comes out? Is it just that EA is not confident in Anthem?
That's what strikes me. And I don't understand why they wouldn't be, because it's getting really good. It was getting really good press.
It was. I haven't had the confidence in it. I mean, I think it's going to be an okay game, but yeah, see, I don't know. It's so intriguing, and I don't really have the answer.
I think it's going to be a really good game, but now I think it might be, the launch is going to be marred by the fact, or on the flip side, if you're playing Apex Legends on PC primarily, then also on your Origin, what's this Anthem? Maybe it will draw more eyes to Anthem, otherwise may not be there.
That's a good point.
Or even on console, I mean, Apex Legends, it's EA, and they go, oh, right, Anthem's coming out. So maybe this is getting more attention for Anthem, but at that point, are you splitting the player base? I don't...
Yeah, that's true. You've got this game that is now, the hottest thing that's out right now. Why split your player base? Why use that as a way to split your player base back over to Anthem? I don't get it.
Why not do the usual and do some sort of mobile tie-in to get you excited for the console release? I don't understand.
Weird stuff happening at EA. Maybe the other answer is that EA needed anything to boost their stock price back up, because that's been sliding down pretty substantially since August of last year. Apex Legends came out, and now we're back up in the $90 to $100 territory for EA stock. So
that game definitely bailed them out.
Right, and if you're seeing Anthem coming out and you're expecting it to underperform, then that's just going to damage your stock price even more. So that it could be as simple as that, really.
They may want to double down and just say, hey, let's just make sure that we're going up, so let's get Apex Legends out, and then let's hope the best for Anthem. I don't know. It'll be...
I don't see Anthem doing well. I don't see it being a
think
bad game, but I don't see it performing.
We shall see, because the game will come out. So if you have EA Origin Access Premier, like me, you can preload the game tomorrow, the 13th, and start playing it on the 14th on Valentine's Day.
Ooh.
So I'll be streaming some of that probably this weekend. I'll be streaming some of that, of course, along with some Crackdown 3. I don't care. I'm excited. Like I know people's impressions were like, it's more Crackdown. That's all I want. I just want Crackdown. Like, if you give me more of that, I'm fine with it.
I'd like to try it out. I think it looks cool.
It does. It looks cool. And I'll play it on PC, because Xbox, Game Pass, and Play Anywhere. Thank you, Xbox, for that.
Whew. Let's go. Hey, you know what? It is the eve of another Nintendo Direct.
Yes, it is.
That's right. After teasing the world for months on end, Nintendo is finally doing their Q1 Nintendo Direct tomorrow. Jeff, here we are, the precipice of another one.
As Kiko was saying, Metro Exodus is this week too. Man,
that's right.
And then Jump Force is this week, and
this is.
I think Far Cry is this week too.
Is it? Wow.
I think New Dawn's this week too. Jesus, this week.
Crazy week. But yeah, Nintendo Direct happening tomorrow. Jeff,
yes.
Thoughts, hopes, dreams? Is this going to be filled with megatons or mega snooze? What do you think?
I don't care anymore. Look, and I say that because Nintendo Directs, they're fine, but mostly, like, you might get one big announcement from one of these things every couple times. I think we'll definitely see something about an upcoming DLC fighter for Smash. I think we know Joker's out. I'm guessing we'll see the next one come out on this Direct.
Okay.
I don't think we won't get any. Thank you, Kiko, for the snooze. It's the first one. Like, it's the first one of the year, right?
Yep, first one of the year.
So they need to have something to come out of the gate strong. So I think you'll see something about like an Animal Crossing game, Mario Maker 2. Here is a new F-Zero or whatever they want to do. I think for this Direct, you'll see something about Smash. You'll see maybe some new mobile stuff, because they got that Dr. Mario mobile game coming out and that Mario Kart mobile game coming out. You may see something about that. They'll kind of hit the bullet. Like, they're the wild card right now. We don't know what they're doing.
They're always the wild card, though.
I'm not Xbox. Xbox, I feel like I know a good idea what they're doing. They're buying up companies to prepare for next generation. I get that.
Yeah.
Sony, I feel like the PS5 is almost ready to go. Whatever it is, I don't know what it's going to be, because all these new patents coming out, whatever, that's intriguing. But they're still going to keep the status quo for the most part. Nintendo, I have no idea.
Yeah, who knows? That's why everybody, I think, is so ravenous for Nintendo Directs all the time. We had all this expectation, like, when January rolled around, it's like, where's the Nintendo Direct? When's the January Direct? And then when there's no January Nintendo Direct, everyone's like, oh my god, why was there no, when is it? When is it? And then they finally announce it, and then everyone's pulling their hair and renting their clothes and putting sackcloth and ashes on their head. And
that's what I do on a daily basis. I think you might see, like, the official Persona 5 announcement coming to Switch now that, Joker's coming to Smash, and say, hey, here's the game port or something. But do you get excited about these Directs anymore?
There's still a little bit of me that gets excited about Directs. Yeah. I mean, I get annoyed at all the hyperbole that you see on social media from all the Nintendo fans for Directs. That gets really annoying, but there's always a part of me that's going to love Nintendo, and there's always a part of me that is going to be excited to see new stuff from Nintendo and to see a Nintendo Direct. New announcements are cool. I think it's just time for Nintendo to start scheduling these regularly. Just have a regular set schedule so we don't have to go through these hype cycles with everybody.
I don't know. I kind of see why they do that, though.
Yep, I was going to say, by the same token, though, they're creating this excitement by having this. They've always mastered artificial scarcity throughout the years.
Yes.
So they're the masters of this, and they're kind of doing that with the directs. But
They're the company that can just flash their name on a screen and you go,
exactly.
so that they can go off of name alone and people's hype.
Yep, there's an expectation of quality with Nintendo that just is unmatched with the rest of the industry. It's sort of how people used to feel when a movie trailer would pop up and, oh, there's Disney's logo, and it's going to be a new animated classic.
Yeah.
And now they're doing live action versions of all their animated classics.
Did you see that? Did you see the Will Smith genie thing?
I saw screenshots of it. It looked atrocious.
Do you want to not sleep for a month?
No, I like sleeping. Sleeping's great.
Good. So stay with that.
I don't have any interest in seeing the live action Aladdin.
No, I don't.
Just Disney, stop. You don't have to remake in live action. You don't have to remake all your damn films.
Now, if you remake Hercules in live action, now we're talking.
Don't. I say don't. There's a timeless beauty to animation. You don't need to do a remake of that animation.
What if they do a live action Toy Story?
No. No, God, no. Why? That takes everything away from it.
Yeah.
It's like doing Mario in ultra realistic graphics. It takes away from exactly. It takes away from the charm. Like, what if Mario had the same graphic fidelity of God of War, and you saw like all the pores on Mario's skin?
Okay, so
that would be terrible.
See that because the God of War artists who Justin kept sending us those pictures like Smash characters, I would want to play that game.
No. Hey, what's up, Kenyon? How's it going? Anyway, let's talk a little bit about our expectations for the Nintendo Direct. Now, I think we talked. We both are not expecting a whole lot for tomorrow's Direct.
Which means we're wrong.
Well, that's awesome. I hope we are.
Yeah. They're making a Sonic movie.
They are making the remake of Sonic. That's right.
They're doing a live action Sonic movie.
Oh,
he's got legs. He's got muscly legs.
Why can't Disney write new movies anymore? You're telling me there's no more freaking ideas for movies?
Hey, Disney can sit back and relax, man. They got that Star Wars money. All right.
Kenyon Jarrus Bedrock. He's watching us on YouTube right now. You are going to say, I know the words that are going to come out of your mouth, Jeff Roth. Okay. You are going to say, my man. Because this guy is saying, hashtag Super Mario Maker 2.
Yes! Thank you! This is the game that I want this year. This is, if you said, what Switch game would make your entire year, Mario Maker 2 would make that. The only thing that would top that is they came out and said, hey, by the way, we're actually making a Zelda Maker. And it was Zelda 8-bit and 16-bit, kind of like the RPG Maker style. You can create your own Zelda maps. But Mario Maker 2, put that directly into my veins.
That would be crazy. I would actually like an F-Zero Maker. Wouldn't you want to do those tracks? Yeah.
So I remember there's an F-Zero game on the Nintendo 64 DD that you could actually, which was the Japanese only, like really limited run thing, where you could actually create your own F-Zero tracks. If you can do that on the Switch and like make F-Zero tracks on the go, that would be rad.
This one says Super Mario Maker 2 tomorrow. See first look. Man, if that happens, I would be pumped.
I would be very pumped. I'd be stoked. Like, my year would be made. As long as it comes out this year.
Yeah, exactly. So here's what we know. We know there's going to be a lot on Fire Emblem. They've already said that, and I'm expecting an announcement for a Q2 release date for Fire Emblem.
Sure.
I'm expecting that Assassin's Creed 3 remaster that's been leaked everywhere.
Yeah.
That's finally going to be formally announced. I expect Spyro Trilogy to be formally announced for Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
I am expecting Wonderful 101. I think there's going to be a port of that.
Yeah.
And what else? What else was I thinking?
See, I still think some Smash stuff as far as new character.
I think so. I think it's probably going to be the Dragon Quest dude. Erdrick.
Yeah, Eldrick? Erdrick, sure.
Yeah.
It's not Doom Guy, but what is?
I would really like Super Mario Maker 2. I really want that to be true. I don't see that happening tomorrow. Realistically,
I don't see it being a direct announcement. I feel like that's an E3 thing.
Yeah. They also somebody noted as well that they have something that's going to be rated 18 or M
Right.
for as one of the trailers. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Mortal Kombat 11 trailer.
Or they're bringing Doom Eternal to Switch.
That could be. That could be. But with Mortal Kombat 11 coming out in April, to me that says we get a trailer and we get a new Mortal Kombat 11 character announced.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Which, oh my god, you flashed the Mortal Kombat dragon in front of my face. I lose my goddamn mind right now. I am insanely pumped for that game.
Kenyon Jarrus Bedrock, good night. Thanks so much for stopping by. You can catch the rest of this. This will be on YouTube when you wake up in the morning, so be sure
on
to check
Spotify
out...
if you have audio.
Yep, that's right. So be sure to check out the rest of it. But thanks for stopping by for the Game
Yes,
Tasty
thank you.
Show.
Yeah, MK11 would be great, and yeah, if they do a character, because the roster right now could use a little bit of a bump.
Yep. The
Because
last
overall,
one we had, they announced a character at Inside Xbox last week. It was Devora,
yeah,
which was
yeah, okay, I get it.
Okay, might as well.
You gotta have some MKX overlap, so I get it.
The other thing that I expect to have announced is Super NES games coming to Nintendo Switch Online. And
Right.
I bet that's going to be, here's the first few titles that are coming out, and it's available today.
Today, yeah.
Yep. So those are my
Gotta get
expectations
that-
for the Switch.
You gotta get that SNES game.
It'll be quality every time. It'll be quality, but I don't think it'll be earth-shattering. Unless, of course, they hit us with the Bayonetta 3 trailer, and then I'll be like, ah!
So what? Yeah. So that would make you lose your mind from maybe Mario Maker 2 if they announced it. I think we may get something about Yoshi's Crafted World, just to remind people that the game exists.
Yeah. They need to do that because that's coming out in March, right?
Yeah, it's coming out soon.
We really haven't seen anything on that game,
which is kind of depressing.
Right. I'm nervous for that one.
Yeah. I was gonna say what SNES games would you?
It's Super NES and
SNES.
You lost
SNES.
that poll, dude.
I lost the one from our Twitter account, but everywhere else I'm seeing people say it's SNES, you idiot. And developers at Evo were on my side.
Anyway. So you're trying to ask what Super Nintendo games would we like to see launch on Nintendo Online?
Or what we think will be. I mean, Mario World is there guaranteed.
Okay.
Mario World and Link to the Past are there. I would even say Super Metroid's there.
Oof. I don't think Super Metroid is there at the beginning, personally.
Pilot Wings?
Pilot Wings would be a great one. If they had Chrono Trigger right off the bat, then I would sign up for...
Boy.
I mean, I've got multiple versions of Chrono Trigger, but if they do it for Nintendo Switch Online, I will sign up for Nintendo Switch Online immediately.
At this point, isn't it just every game that's on the Super Nintendo Classic? Just put them on there? Donkey Kong Countries,
might as well.
Contra 3, freaking
Contra 3 would be great. Gradius
Earthbound.
would be great. Earthbound would be great. Super Punch-Out would be so good.
That would be so good.
Final Fight 3 would be great.
Oh,
like
man.
all those Capcom, like
Man, those
all
Final
those
Fight
beat 'em
games.
ups. I don't
Those
think
Final
they'll do
Fight
it though.
games were bad on
I
the
don't
Super
think they'll
Nintendo.
do it because they have the Capcom beat 'em up collection.
Yeah,
I need to pick that up.
me too.
That's a great collection. Those are really some classic games from a genre that just doesn't get the love anymore.
I know, but might be making a comeback.
Yeah,
and we'll get to that. We'll get to that in our retro section. But yeah, it directs tomorrow. What time is it tomorrow? It's 11 a.m. our time.
No, it's actually later. It's 4 p.m. our time.
Wow,
Central
not used
Standard
to that.
Time. Yeah.
Maybe we might get a big thing then, since later on the day.
Hopefully. My fingers are crossed, my man. My fingers are crossed. I'm always ready for something.
And we'll be watching it. We won't be doing a live watch along, but we'll be watching that, and we'll have stuff to say next week.
Always. All right. Well, let's move on a little bit.
Yes.
Last thing I wanted to hit. I was forwarded something very interesting.
Yes, you were.
We've been covering how the gaming industry is going to be moving towards streaming for the past almost year now, with the pending arrival of companies like Apple, Google, and Amazon into the video game industry. We've already seen Google and Amazon make announcements that they're coming in, and Apple has yet to do it. Verizon is testing something out.
I want to get back to Amazon later on, but I'll keep that in mind. But yes, go on.
All right. So somebody forwarded me a thread that a developer had posted. This is Mike Rose. I thought this was really interesting, here, and I'll read this for you. He said, "Little thread of potential horror. I am getting
horror,
not horrors. I am getting very, very worried about the future of Netflix-like subscription models. In the last 6 months, I have been contacted by over a dozen different services." Now, that gets me a little alarmed. A dozen different services? Who all is launching services? So we've got Amazon, Apple, Google. We've got Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo maybe, Verizon. Those are the players that we know. So that's 7. So who else is launching video game services?
Maybe they're exaggerating.
Well, he says over a dozen different services who all want to put No More Robots games on their upcoming platforms. But here's the catch. None of these platforms want to pay anything up front. Instead, they want to pay us per number of hours that their users play our games compared to how many hours their users are playing games overall, which is obviously going to be crap for indie developers. Now, here's the real problem. If bigger studios begin adopting this style of platform, which they kind of already are with things like Xbox Game Pass, Discord, Nitro, etc., it forces smaller developers into a position where they may have to start being a part of these platforms. So let's say in 5 years, if Netflix-style subscription models have become the norm and no one is paying for games anymore, a la what happened with both music and TV, how are indie developers even making money anymore? They're not. That is the horrible answer. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm honestly super worried about this upcoming trend, and this is coming from someone who owns a publisher and can potentially maximize sales by selling multiple games at once. If this trend takes over, I don't know how development studios are even going to survive. To clarify, from a consumer standpoint, I love subscription models. I currently use Netflix, Now TV, Amazon Video, Spotify, Xbox Game Pass, etc. It's not that I'm rallying against them. I just think we could do with having a real conversation about how they should be implemented best. And he says, I'm so glad so many other people have been worrying about this too. With Games Developer Conference coming up, I wonder if there's something we can put together to talk about this properly. I have a strong suspicion that the next console cycle will be heavily subscription-based. As so-and-so pointed out, if you are currently subscribed to PlayStation Plus, Xbox Games with Gold, Twitch Prime, and Humble Monthly, you have already received 28 free games in February alone. Fast forward 3 years, can you honestly say you'll still be buying new games? That was a long thread, but holy buckets. This is like, he's spelling out all the fears that we have had, and actually fears that I hadn't really even thought of. I did not consider that is how these different subscription services are going to compensate developers for their work. It's going to be per hours played, and that's really, I think, going to screw over smaller developers.
It is. I don't think they can stick to that model. I think in 5 years that won't be the norm, and I feel like with trends in gaming, yes, it's going to end up taking hold no matter what. But I feel like this one will be the hardest to get the majority of players to get up on board with, because I know a lot of people, a lot of gamers want to own. This is why things like Steam and the Epic Game Store are thriving / going to thrive, because people do want to own. And I think the initial pushback on streaming, people will find alternatives to besides going fully streaming. But I think in 5 years, there will be better ideas as far as compensating indie, because they don't want to kill the indie industry. They will find ways, but yes, you have to talk about it. You have to say, hey, how about this option? We have to throw different things on the table.
Well, I don't think that they intentionally want to kill the indie industry.
Right.
I think it's just a danger that comes with the territory with how they're trying to advance the technology. And oh, thanks so much. Tony Raw,
Thanks, Tony.
the official Tony Raw, loves the channel name, which is Nerd Bacon. Anyway, I think it's a byproduct of how they're trying to advance the technology.
Sure.
I think he raises a very good point.
Welcome.
Whoa. I think he raises a very good point. That was a new alert. Tony Raw, thank you so much for the follow. We definitely appreciate it.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah. It's a byproduct of how they're advancing the technology, and I think there is a real danger. If you think about it, we as consumers are value driven. We're always
could that alert be bigger, please?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't have my preview up here. I'll have to take a look at that.
Oh God. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think Infinite Knife changed that around when
oh, thanks, Jared.
Yeah. He changed it around streaming Resident Evil. But you know what? It's time for a change anyway. I've had Matt Hardy doing delete for so long. So
yeah, he doesn't wrestle anymore.
He doesn't. We need something new. We need something new. Maybe
anyway,
something Becky Lynch.
There you go.
Ooh.
There you go.
Anyway, so we're value driven as consumers. We want the best price as much as possible. Mm-hmm. Think about it, Jeff. When is the last time you've actually gone out and bought a movie?
You bought a movie?
You don't really buy movies anymore because you've got these subscription services and you can just stream a number of movies at your command.
Sure.
You go and buy a movie if it's something like Avengers, like a big blockbuster release, and you're like, yeah, I really enjoyed my experience seeing that in the theater, and I want to have that. I want to have that immediately in the home.
Yeah,
that's why you go and buy a movie now. And I think that I think he raises a legitimate point that there is a danger that is something that is a risk in the video game industry. Yeah, it's an update on Skype. So Skype forced us to auto update today. Yep. And one of the features that they have now is an ability to blur your background. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's a nice little...
It's a blurry Cubs flag back there.
Yeah, it does have like weird artifacting things. So it's like I'm rubbing weird glass. Anyway.
The bear will show himself.
The bear will show himself? Oh, yeah.
Back there, yeah.
Anyway. So what do you think? I mean, do you think that there's a danger that people will be inclined to buy less games going forward if they just have, they can turn on their TV and, this Xbox Game Pass subscription service pops into their TV and you've got 50 games you can play right off the bat?
Naturally. I mean, the idea of convenience. I mean, that's the number one key is I can sit at home in my sweatpants, avoid people, avoid stores, and just stream games. Now, of course, if you're playing primarily on PC, which I do, I have Steam. I don't have to stream because that will do as well. If I'm streaming a game, how does that tax when I do my live streams, when I do my Twitch streams? Like, does that hinder the quality of the game? I tried that PS Now when it came out. That was a joke.
Yep.
If I want to play fighting games, just don't bother at that point. But yeah, it's interesting to think like how this will affect these smaller companies and what this will do for them financially. It's something I didn't think of either.
Are you going to be inclined though, going through Steam to see if you see something for $12.99 that looks kind of cool? Are you still going to be inclined to buy it, knowing that, well, $12.99 is how much I'm paying for a month of Game Pass streaming?
Right, and so I have Xbox Game Pass, which is what $10 a month.
Sure,
I think
something like that.
Or you can buy the game for a discounted price, which I've never done. I just download the game because I know I want to keep Xbox Game Pass. If I don't, oh well, I can re-up for $10 a month and play them all again. So yeah, it affects if I can just download it, then it affects my want to buy it properly if I can just have part of the service. But streaming, if I know, hey, you can either stream it for free or download it for this price, that will be a deciding factor because I want the best possible quality, the best possible as far as like how it looks, how it plays.
Sure.
If I'm playing Tekken, I want to have lightning fast reflex. I want to have that proper at home Tekken experience. So I'm not going to stream that. I'm going to pay to download it if that's an option.
Right, right.
Which I know PS Now does that, where you can stream or download from their service. But I don't know with games.
I think there's always going to be a contingent of harder core people like us who will prefer, like what you said, to have that hard digital copy instead of streaming something. Because it does offer us the best quality, the best fidelity, and everything.
Right. If it's a bad connection and bad servers, you're screwed.
Right. With that being said, though, where streaming is really going to take hold is with the more casual audience who just doesn't care about it. They just see a bunch of games that they can play, and they're like, yeah, I'll pay $10 a month to play, 100 games every month. And that's really where streaming is gonna have its bread and butter. What I think the biggest danger is with the move to streaming is with indie developers. If indie developers have this reduced payment method where they're being paid by the hours their game is being played, then there's no reason for indie it's going to have a detrimental effect on the quality of the indie titles that are being produced. If you think of a game like Stardew Valley, this was a guy who quit his job. He basically was supported by his parents and supported by his girlfriend for several years while he sat and did this passion homage to Harvest Moon and worked on this for, like 3 or 4 years he worked on this game without any job or income or anything. There was no guarantee that this game was going to be any type of success, but it was something that he was driven to do. That was his art. And he did it all by himself. He didn't have a team or anything. He was able to get somebody to help publish the game, but it wasn't like he had a team of developers or anything helping him out. It was just him writing code, doing art, scrapping it all, redoing stuff, and eventually releasing the game. And God bless him, he became a millionaire because the game just did gangbusters because people bought it. My worry is because of streaming and because of the way that these I don't know if I want to call them publishers or anything like that because they're not really publishing the games, but the way that the companies that are handling these streaming services are going to compensate third-party developers and indie developers, it just makes me worry that the independent developers are going to be basically muscled out of the workspace, and we're going to lose all that potential art.
Yeah. Like, would Celeste be a thing?
Yeah.
If it was, I don't know. We'll see. But like in 5 years, the entire gaming industry will already have changed. So.
Axiom Verge, that wouldn't be a thing. Tom Happ was just like one dude sitting there. Again, programming out of a love of Metroid. Yeah,
and that game's terrific. But
yeah, it's a triumph. But my gosh,
something to think about. Yeah, when this move to streaming, and it's just a dystopian future that I don't think a lot of us are ready for. I know I'm not ready for it. Like I like owning games so I can have the best quality, the best gameplay, the best experience possible. You try streaming Red Dead 2. Let me know how that works for you. It's you're streaming 100 gigs of a game world. Like, that's taxing.
Yeah, absolutely. Tony Raw is right. In 1 year, things can change fast. I think the company with the best potential to make it work is Microsoft, because they're doing something, setting up this Azure cloud base. I think what they did is actually they worked out a deal with Walmart, and I'm betting what they're doing is they're setting up cloud stations in various different Walmarts. Because one of the big hang-ups why people say, oh no, streaming will never become a thing because rural internet is so bad and everything. I wonder if they're putting some of these cloud stations in Walmarts, because Walmarts are everywhere in the United States. I mean, you're a small town, you don't have anything, but you've got a Walmart nearby.
Right. And I think Tony Ross right. I don't think streaming right now isn't possible, but give them about a year to get the technology to catch up.
Yeah.
I think it can work, because now you have things like Google Fiber. You have things that can push that out. And if Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo go out and put these giant, telephone pole-like things in Walmarts and McDonald's and wherever they want to, they can have the power to do that. But right this second, probably not. Although, Dave, I think you said you're into Project Stream with Google and had relatively few issues with that.
Yeah, Project Stream ran surprisingly smoothly. There were a few times where there was a lot of lag, so you would have weird controller issues and stuff like that, and then you'd have weird artifacting and everything. Artifacting was something that you saw a little bit more of than you saw lag. But overall, I was extremely impressed with the experience of Project Stream, and I'm surprised there's not more stuff out there on that. I need to put an article or review. Your English is fine, by the way. Wow, I can't believe you're watching from Italy.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Dude, we're being watched in Italy.
That's really awesome.
And by the way,
amazing.
if I know Dave had posted the Waluigi thing, that's not relevant in the Twitch chat, but Dave's talking to Twitch and Mixer and YouTube at the same time. So if it doesn't quite answer the question, it answers somebody's question.
Yep,
so
exactly.
Don't get confused.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like, what's this?
So anyway, those are my thoughts on that dude's post regarding how indie developers are going to be treated for streaming. It's definitely something to keep an eye on as we move forward. The other thing I worry about, and I don't want to get into this tonight, is kind of the heavy-handed nature that some of these tech companies like Apple and Google can have over content that's on their platform. So I wonder if we start going back to... Remember how Nintendo was very, very tight with what third parties could put in their games back in the NES era? I wonder if we go back to something like that. Things kind of opened up as we moved to the 32-bit era and Sony took over and everything, but I wonder if we move over to tighter platform holder control as we move forward.
Sure. Yes, we are crazy. That's definitely a word for us. We are crazy. And look, if it's your first time watching us, welcome. Dave and I are freelance video game journalists. We write for Bacon.com. You can find a lot of our work there, as long as plenty other contributors who review games, have special features there. We all do our own streaming stuff. We've interviewed developers. We're looking to get to make this our career, and looking to break in to the mainstream video game industry. Correct, Dave?
Something like that. I'm
happy to be here.
I'm in it to win it.
That's right.
All right, let's move on.
Yes,
this week we wanted to talk about so Nerd Bacon every February.
Yes.
We dedicate the month to retro gaming goodness.
We do.
We call it Retroary.
We do.
We're in our time machines going back. So Jeff Roth,
hi.
It is time to take a look and declare what are the top 5 retro games we want to see return. What retro revivals keep us up at night?
Now, what do we consider retro? What generation is a kind of our cutoff for retro? I think like PS2 is pushing it.
PS2 is pushing it. I'd say Dreamcast and beyond, going backwards.
Well, if you said my number one, it's being taken this year, because we're getting Streets of Rage 4 coming back this year.
Yeah.
So if you would have asked me what franchise I want to see again, Streets of Rage. Oh, it's happening. So I popped hard for that, by the way, when that announcement came out.
And you're getting a Windjammers 2 this year as well.
And Windjammers 2. I'm so glad that's getting a love again, and we'll have to get Frankie on to talk some Windjammers when that gets closer to release. I would say, and I say it every time I mention about when I talk about Toe Jam and Earl and about Genesis, I always bring up Comic Zone,
Oh
and I'd
yes.
love to see a new age Comic Zone. I think, I mean, obviously Sega would probably publish it because it's a Sega property, but I think that would just be a lot of fun. So I go number one. Since I can't do Streets of Rage, I would say Comic Zone.
Comic Zone would be great, especially now that comic book movies are all the rage. It would be great to see something in that style, with all the accoutrements that we're used to in the modern age. For me,
I got you, Tony. I hear you. Retro is a feeling.
ooh,
Retro
ooh.
is a way of life.
You know, it's about time we started looking at, because we at Nerdbacon, we've always kind of made the cutoff at Dreamcast, but at what point do we say, hey, PlayStation 2, you're in the retro party now?
Yeah, that was 2001. That was
That was
18 years
2000.
ago.
That was
2000?
2000. Yeah.
Xbox was 2000. PS2 was 2001.
Nope, you got it the other way around.
I'm gonna.
Okay, go ahead.
I got it. Yeah.
PlayStation 2 was October of 2000 here in the US, March of 2000 in Japan, and then Xbox was November of 2001 here in the US. Came out just a couple of weeks after Nintendo launched the GameCube in 2001.
PlayStation 2, October 26, 2000. Wow, look at you go. I remember the Dreamcast launch date was 9999.
Yep, that sure was. 20th,
Burned into my brain.
20th anniversary of Dreamcast's launch this year.
Still my personal favorite console of all time.
Beautiful console. Hey, speaking of Dreamcast,
Yes.
that's my first title
Oh yeah.
that I want to see as a retro revival. It's time to bring back the power. It's time to harden our stones once again. Oh yeah, I'm talking about the immortal Power Stone. Folks, Power Stone was a gem of a game, all puns intended.
Yep.
Power Stone is a perfect fit for the Nintendo Switch.
Agreed.
4-player fighting, can you imagine that? 4-player fighting, it's not a graphically intensive game. Put that on the Switch. Great party game. It's not like Street Fighter where it's highly technical. It was a game where you punch, you kick, you flip around on poles, you pick up chairs and throw stuff at people.
That's like Friday night.
Freaking, yeah, exactly. It was freaking great. And
It was.
We saw 2 Power Stone games, and
Yep.
then the series died. It died.
Yeah, there were those 2 games on the Dreamcast, and the PSP had the collection. But yeah, we have not seen hide nor hair of that series since then, and I think it's about time.
Capcom, let's do this. Let's bring this back. Let's make a Power Stone 3. It doesn't have to be a big budget title. It just has to be decent. And you put that on the Switch, and you watch the dollar bills, or if you're in Italy, you watch the lira. You watch that all roll in. You watch it all roll in. All right.
All the lira that Ronaldo's making for Juventus.
What's number 2 for you?
Number 2, I'm gonna stick with we're fighting game fans. Obviously,
Oh, yeah.
my Evo hoodie. So I'm gonna stick with Capcom.
Uh-oh.
They had this game on the PS1.
I know what you're talking about.
I know you do. Sequel on the Dreamcast. Rival Schools.
Oh, yes.
Rival Schools absolutely deserves to come back in this year because for many reasons. One, Street Fighter V is basically done. They put out that Kage character, which I have many issues with.
There's more characters coming, dude.
But Street Fighter V is a bad time, okay? Street Fighter V is a bummer. And Capcom, especially with how MVC Infinite panned out,
Yeah.
they need something to fill that other niche. And if it's not something to make him up later for me, it should be Rival Schools / Project Justice. Because that game is phenomenal. And you can have, like I said, you can have the whole like school system, like Mortal Kombat X had the faction system.
Yes.
You can plug that into a school system, and it is still one of the best fighting games ever made, full stop.
I agree with you entirely. Rival Schools was phenomenal. It was a 3D title, but it played like a 2D game. It was sort of like Street Fighter EX, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't developed by Akira. It was developed by Capcom.
Right.
But my gosh, I agree with you entirely. The whole school motif is perfect for what what they did with Mortal Kombat, and even what they did with Street Fighter V a little bit. They introduced that dojo system. But think about this: Capcom could monetize the living hell out of this game, right?
Oh yeah.
They could monetize the living. Sorry, that stupid poster keeps falling down. They can monetize this, like what you're saying. So you have the school system, right? You have alternate costumes that you sell, but you sell alternates of those alternate costumes for each of the different schools.
Oh god.
Yeah. So you got 3 schools, you've got 3 different colored versions of the same costume, and they're selling that. It's dirty, I know, but it's brilliant. Let's see. Tony Ra, official, has a question.
This is good.
15 years ago was age of single-player meta. Now it's multiplayer meta and battle royale. What is in the future? Is VR the future? That's a damn good question.
As somebody who owns an Oculus Rift, I will tell you, VR is probably not the future. It's definitely a part of the future. I think there's some great companies making some really cool things for VR. I'm not giving up on VR, not just because I'm gonna die. I will die on this hill, because the Oculus VR has some great stuff in it for sure. As far as the future goes, I think esports is going to start taking over. I think you're going to see this. We're kind of seeing it evolve already. So this multiplayer, I think people will develop games with esports in mind at the forefront. And you see it with Rocket League, prime example. They made that game, esports was on the brain. And now with Overwatch League Season 2, which I'm going to get back to in a second because I'm going to promo that. I think esports is kind of the future, I think, and kind of the present.
Yeah, even like Street Fighter V was developed with esports in mind. A lot of these fighting games now, a lot of shooters and stuff. I think streaming is kind of the future, at least in the. I don't know if I want to say the immediate future, but you're going to start seeing that shift late this year, early next year. That's the big thing to watch. As far as VR is going to continue to grow. I am surprised that the fad has lasted this long, and I don't think it's a fad anymore. It's a genuine thing.
Yes. Thank you for finally. I've been preaching this since I bought my damn Oculus, saying, guys, there's some cool things.
There are some cool things, VR. But it still has not reached mass adoption yet. And I don't know what it needs yet for mass adoption. To me, I would rather see a company develop some sort of augmented reality.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't like the idea of like closing myself off and putting this VR helmet off and on and then not having any contact with the outside world. To me, that just seems...
Oh, it feels great. It feels great.
I don't like that idea. I'd rather do augmented reality. I think to me that seems more of a viable future as far as getting mainstream acceptance. Anyway.
Sure. The only issue being like how big is the headset? Like HoloLens is a pretty big headset for expensive price.
Yeah.
I think for VR to start taking hold, they're doing this now because they're putting like Oculus Quest, Oculus Go. They're doing things that are more consumer friendly as far as price goes.
Ooh, that would be
cool.
Ooh,
yeah,
I'd be competitive esport with VR and something like Rogue Player One. I think that's what Sony kind of intended for that PlayStation VR launch game, Riggs. Remember that? Yeah, and it didn't take off, and they closed the studio, unfortunately.
Riggs.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on here.
Yes, your next.
My second one.
Retro. Yes.
My second one. We're doing 5 of these, by the way.
Okay, great.
Okay. So my second one, I'll be a little bit faster here because we're running out of time. Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, we had 2 beautiful classic Earthworm Jim games back in the 90s. It's a product of the 90s, and the 90s are back. And then we had that unfortunate abomination called Earthworm Jim 64.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
why?
One of the worst games on the system. One of the worst games of that era. But I think right now, given the right development team, I think we could bring Earthworm Jim back, and I think it would be a hell of a game. And I will tell you, the team making Toe Jam and Earl, that needs to be the team to revive Earthworm Jim. They got the chops, they got the attitude, they know exactly what the 90s is about, they got the skill set. Let's put it in their hands. I'm hoping that's what they're working on after Toe Jam and Earl comes out, but that remains to be seen. But that's
I wonder who has that license.
I don't know. That's a good question. That's my retro dream. Number 2 at least. Earthworm Jim.
All right. So I'm at number 3 now?
You were at number 3.
Sweet. I love me some good future sports.
Oh.
Summer Runner, what's up, boy?
Hey, yo.
I'm not sure I made that noise. I'm going to blame the totally water. Okay. I love future sports. I love future sports that remind me of a lot of killing and death. And I loved the Running Man movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Richard Dawson. So, the game that reminds me most of that movie is Smash TV.
Oh.
I want to see a new Smash TV because you can make that a roguelike style game, a procedurally generated death sport.
Dang, dude.
Like,
you blew my mind. You just blew my mind.
I know, kind of Diablo, but also with like a shooter and procedurally generated, and you can you can make seasons out of it. Like, I want a new, improved Smash TV.
You wouldn't have to be so gory on that. You could make that kind of cartoony, like Fortnite / Overwatch style as well. Yeah. You could have Smash TV, and then it could have unique characters like Overwatch that would draw people in. Oh, dude!
And make it a loot game. This chess piece gives me like +5.
Who did that? Was that Capcom?
That's Midway.
Midway did that. Oh,
yep.
Man.
So that license now belongs to Warner Brothers.
I don't know if I would trust.
Didn't that go with the whole like? Because Midway split off into like Atari, Infogrames, whatever the hell that split off into.
Yeah.
I think that's
became
now
Ubisoft.
Yeah. So I don't know who was it licensed, but give me a new Smash TV.
Dang, man. I agree. That would be amazing. I also went with sports for number 3.
All right.
I went the easy route out. NBA Jam. We're past the 25th anniversary. We really thought we were going to see some new NBA Jam.
But see, I don't know if I can count that because NBA Jam came out on Xbox 360. There were 2 NBA Jams in the Xbox 360.
But did it feel like the original?
Yes, it did. Tony Roth, thanks for tuning in all the way from Italy.
Oh, yes.
Get some sleep. 6 a.m. Boy.
Oh, my goodness.
Come back
you're just going to sleep now. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Dude, he's doing the long haul.
Thanks,
Man,
Tony.
Thank
If
you
you
so
want to check the audio
thank
version.
yous.
Yes, if you want to check the audio version, mercy. If you want to, that's probably French. If you want to check the audio version on Spotify, you can find us there too. So, anyway, yes, Steve, go on.
I was gonna say, I still feel like it's time for new NBA Jam. We got to see a proper homage to the classic game.
Sure.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
I thought we were gonna see something. I really thought we were gonna see something for the 25th anniversary last year.
Yeah. NBA Jam is my favorite arcade game, like almost my favorite arcade game of ever. Second to like Blitz and Tekken and something else I'm forgetting. But
it made an impact.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, but yes, NBA Jam, a proper NBA Jam. Sure, would love to see it.
All right, we're up to number 4 for you.
Oh boy, I got to think here on the fly here. Did I play a lot of as a Ute?
What was that? What did you play a lot of as a Ute?
A lot of things. I don't have very many friends. I'm gonna go with one more sports game here.
Ooh.
We're talking about NBA Jam.
Let me guess. Now, NFL quarterback club.
No. So my favorite sport is hockey. I'm a hockey fan. Now, we recently got a remake of Mutant League Football,
Okay.
so why not get a remake of Mutant League Hockey?
Oh. Okay. All right.
Because EA's NHL game has kind of been stagnant the past couple of years. Like, it's still good. It's just not been groundbreaking. Let's say, it's not really broke ground since they introduced the shot stick back in like '09.
Yeah, it ain't worth $60.
Right, and even the switch to the next gen, the current gen consoles, looked very pretty, but now you can't bank on that anymore.
Right.
So, if something like a Mutant League Hockey can come back around, bring back that arcade hockey style, and make it gory as hell, I'm all in.
Okay. I'll go with that. I would like to play an arcade style hockey game. We really don't see that. And like I said, NHL is a little bit stagnant, so yeah, I wish more developers would take a chance on developing arcade style sports games.
Yes.
There's
like Laser League. Laser League is a great example of an arcade sports game that sure has having some issues with development right now, but is a great game and people need to play these things.
Sure. Or develop a wrestling game that isn't freaking WWE or something like that. Like develop.
Well, Fire Pro exists.
Fire Pro exists, but develop. Fire Pro is still based off of New Japan.
Yes.
Develop a wrestling game that is based just off of your original characters. Like develop your own original characters.
Or there's this new upstart company called All Elite Wrestling. Wouldn't it be great if this THQ Nordic company came back around and said, "Hey"?
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome, actually. Oh man, I wonder if they still had the rights to use that engine from the old N64 days.
I would imagine so, because that's the Aki engine. Match up with THQ.
Oh, make it so, Mr. Scott. That was Picard, wasn't it?
What?
Never mind. Anyway, all right.
So Scotty was that's old. Like,
Scotty was old school, but wasn't Picard one who would say "make it so"?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Yes, he'd make it so and engage.
Okay, so yeah, I'm still messing it up.
Make it so.
All right.
Yes, you're right.
I'll shut up.
There's a great so for Christmas I posted that like little smash cut of him singing the "Make It So" instead of "Let It Snow."
Yeah.
Make it so. Yes.
You're a treasure.
I'm a nerd.
All right, let's talk about number 4.
Yes.
For me, we've seen so many fighting games out there. So many. But it's time to get back with the most classic, technical, elegant fighting game of all. Virtua Fighter.
Oh,
I
yes.
know, right? The last one we had was Virtua Fighter 5 back when the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 launched back in, 2006? So I know it's not quite, or 2005, 2006, somewhere.
Oh, there's Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown, which came out a couple years later. Anyway.
Fighting games were in a different place at that point.
Yes.
Online adoption was in a different place at that point.
Yes.
We're now in a new age. Fighting games are filling arenas. We got EVO still at Mandalay Bay. Thousands of people getting in there. Fighting games are in a renaissance now. And it's time for Virtua Fighter to get the credit that it's always deserved. It's time to bring back Virtua Fighter and make it the legend that it should be.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do it. Yu Suzuki, get on it. I know you don't have enough time right now because you're finishing up Shenmue 3, but somewhere in the back of your brain, let's do this. Let's get back with Sega just for one last go with Virtua Fighter. And let's just get it out there and see if we can make Virtua Fighter the art that it needs to be. So
I was going through my PS2 collection and saw that I have Virtua Fighter 4 and 4 Evolution, and I go, man, I gotta play those because those games are awesome.
Good. Those games were so good.
Yeah. Is there a bad? Okay, I know there's a bad Virtua Fighter game. The first one's kind of bad.
1 and 3 were not great.
Right, because 3 was a team battle in Dreamcast. That game was bad.
It was just different. It was much more. It just had a slower pace than Virtua Fighter 2 did. It was kind of like Street Fighter 5 is in a way.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Street Fighter 5 feels a lot slower compared to how Street Fighter 4 felt.
Okay.
And that's a good comparison, I think, with how Virtua Fighter 3 was. And then Virtua Fighter 4 moved back to a faster paced style, and it felt much more like Virtua Fighter 2. And Virtua Fighter 4, I think, is the pinnacle of the series.
BF4 is fantastic.
That game introduced, because online wasn't really a thing at that point, so that game introduced, the fake arcade avatars. Mm-hmm. So you had all these different AI personalities who would mimic arcade
I
plays.
Loved that. I loved that.
That game was the first game to introduce the ranking system. So you started off like a 10th Dan and then worked your way on up, or Q or whatever, and worked your way on up. Virtua Fighter 4 was the first game to do that.
Man.
Yeah.
That game was so good. And Evolution was so good too.
Whew.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all right. Number 5 for you.
Oh man, I have 2 in my head right. I have 2 in my head right now.
Got to go with one because we are coming up on time.
Okay.
We got 4 minutes.
Here's about honorable mention goes to Road Rash.
Yes.
Criterion, get on that. Number 5. Going back to Capcom.
It's all Capcom.
Because goddamn, we want Capcom to be good again. Saturday Night Slam Master.
What?
Let's go. You want that wrestling game? It's not a wrestling game. Saturday Night Slam Masters. Put Mike Hagar back in the ring, and let's frickin' go.
I would be quite ecstatic if we saw Saturday Night Slam Masters come back. I would play that not just Saturday night, but any night of the week.
You're damn right.
All right. I agree entirely with your number 1. My number 1 is the obvious choice, the thing that I clamor for most in this world, and that is a brand new friggin' Chrono Trigger. Let's go. It's time for Chrono Trigger 2. I'm convinced that it's coming somehow, some way, someday. We just need to see it at some point. But greatest game of all time, hopefully with the launch of Super Nintendo games on Nintendo Switch Online. Hopefully that makes it over in the initial batch of games that's launched with that service, and hopefully that initial batch of games launches tomorrow. But we'll find out tomorrow with the Nintendo Direct. That's
right. So yeah, that's kind of our retro games you want to see come back. Retroary, of course, happened at Bacon.com.
That's right.
Let's before we sign off. Of course, we know about all the massive layoffs hitting Activision Blizzard right now. It really sucks. But what's good about it is that people on social medias are bumping game dev jobs. So hopefully these talented people can land back on their feet. It always sucks when there's a big downsize, and it'd be a whole podcast about that. I don't want to get into that right now. We hope that everybody gets back on their feet, which I'm sure many of them will.
The odd thing to me, and I agree with everything you just said, from my perspective, the odd thing to me is that Activision, for some reason, somehow, some way, doesn't have a big game launching this year. How is that possible? How have they not worked out their lineup that they have something launching that they can keep people on? Yeah, that's what this all boils down to. They're expecting $1 billion loss this year.
Wow.
Or at least they're going to make $1 billion less than they did in fiscal year 2018.
How much of that do you think is the Destiny stuff going bye-bye?
I don't know. A good chunk.
And maybe a Call of Duty later on this year, maybe.
Well, they mentioned Call of Duty is coming this year, but they mentioned it's going to be it's not going to be as big as Black Ops 4 was. So I think it's a remaster.
Yeah. Hopefully they find that MW2 remaster.
All right. Anyway, where can they find you, Jeff?
Yes. So also tomorrow on this very channel, around 6:30 Eastern, myself and esports expert Ian Barker, friend of the site, we'll be previewing Overwatch League Season 2.
Whoa.
We will be just because that kicks off Thursday.
Wow. Speaking of Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, right? So we'll talk about this tomorrow. So him and I will be discussing how Season 1 ended up, and we will preview Season 2 because him and I are both ecstatic for the return of Overwatch League. So you can find that right here, 6:30 Eastern. Him and I will discuss that for about an hour and a half or so. As the night takes us.
All right.
You can find me on Twitter at Jefferoth, Jepheroth. Also on twitch.tv/Jefferoth. After this, we're going to go stream maybe some Apex Legends and some other stuff tonight. I don't work tomorrow, so I have all night.
Oh, nice.
So we'll stream some stuff tonight on the Jefferoth channel. So Twitch and Twitter, and of course we have some stuff coming down the pipes at Bacon.com. Dave.
You can find me at Dave the Watchman. Also, make sure you follow us at nerd_bacon on Twitter. We've even got a Facebook page. And check out our website every day for I don't know if I'd say the latest and greatest, but I would say in-depth stuff on in-depth articles on the tastiest aspects of gaming.
That's right. And you can see a recent post from many of our contributors talking about their history of Mario Party. So
yes, hitting 20 years this year.
I can't believe that. That makes me feel horrible old.
I am so horrible old.
Horrible.
Next week, we did this on Skype because Jeff went to an audition for a theater project.
My nerves are shot, man.
Oh, man, but I hope you're in. Next week, though, and starting next week and every week, we're going to be together. No more of the Skype business. We'll be together in studio. It'll be beautiful. We'll be able to hold hands all throughout the show.
And start sooner.
But next week, you are not going to want to miss it. It's at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. It'll be our wake for Justin. Level up Justin. We'll have a wake for him, and that'll kick off the show.
I'll have thoughts about Anthem and Crackdown 3.
And I'll just have thoughts. Deep thoughts. All right, that's it for the Game Tasty Show. We hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. That helps us. Hit that follow. That helps us. Hit that follow on Twitch as well, wherever you're watching. That helps us out. We're just a couple dudes trying to make our way in life. And be sure to check out the website. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you might hit your social media needs. For all of us here at Nerd Bacon, I am Dave the Watchman.
I am Jefferoth.
Thank you so much. And now and forever, make sure you continue to game tasty. Have a good night, everyone.
Peace.